Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. And before we get this podcast even started, this episode, I got ball for ball, Rollo, and I'll be right back right after this.
Ball for ball. Pretty girls and rich niggas. Got no room for bitch niggas. Had to cut some people off and know I do not miss niggas. A bitch can break my heart, but I ain't never going broke. They know not to play them games with me that I ain't going for. I might slip, but I won't fall. Do this shit here for my dog. The only way I'm going back and forth if we gon' ball for ball. Fuck the rules, we do this my way, go against me and you lose. The only way I accept a loss is when I had to lose my screws. Fuck the niggas, we ain't cool. I make they mamas move. I can really shit on niggas, don't make me do my number two. Niggas talking about what they do like me and I can't do it too. Niggas say they big as us, I'm trying to find them niggas who. Pretty girls and rich niggas, got no room for bitch niggas. Had to cut some people off and know I do not miss niggas. We ball for ball. Yup, I'm really quick to cut these niggas off. Who don't fuck with me, go tell them fuck them all. I hope they get the message. You ain't gotta sneeze, fuck with me and get a blessing. We ball for ball, we ball for ball. No, we gon' ball for ball. We ball for ball, we ball for ball. We gotta ball for ball. We ball for ball, we ball for ball. No, we gon' ball for ball. We ball for ball, we ball for ball, nigga.
Yeah, black ones and tees and shit for balls. If they ain't with us, fuck them all. How many lives my niggas spared and fucking saved just through a call? I pray to God forgive my brother's savage ways and show love. Shit ain't the same, like fuck the fame. You hear this pain on when I talk. I shake the pavement when I walk. Home at the K9 with the road. I was in the K, they done let me out. Home got my name down on the phone. We all in the Yammy popping it for ball. Back to back black truck from the pad. Fucked around, dropped the top on the ride. I don't even know how to put it back. My foot on the gas, I can't pull it off. I'ma pop it big, do this shit for ball. Feeling like I'm really bigger than a law. Bigger than a law. Woman in the mall, nigga, fuck the call. 10 down sacks, feel fuck around. Hear a nigga screaming, fam, gonna boss. Moment is silent for my nigga ball. Moment is silent for my nigga ball. No, we gon' ball for ball. Yeah, we gotta ball for ball.
We ball for ball. Yup, I'm really quick to cut these niggas off. Who don't fuck with me, go tell them fuck them all. I hope they get the message. You ain't gotta sneeze, fuck with me and get a blessing. We ball for ball, we ball for ball.
No, we gon' ball for ball.
We ball for ball, we ball for ball.
We gotta ball for ball.
We ball for ball, we ball for ball.
No, we gon' ball for ball.
We ball for ball, we ball for ball.
We gotta ball for ball.
Niggas talking about jacking who? Boy, you better out jacking off. I don't care if you're a big dog. Who say I won't whack a boss? Who say I won't get up off this mic and shoot up a nigga house? Who say I won't shoot one of these jail niggas soon as they get out? I hope they free him. I've been looking for the right tree to knock off his limb. I've been looking for a big nigga I can make slim. Well, yo, big yep, you can call me one, but I ain't one of them. No, I ain't. I hope they get the message. I don't never think about who I cut off, all them niggas stressing. I don't give a fuck about what you got, can't none of that shit impress me. If a nigga try me in this bitch, they gotta come arrest me. After I whack the nigga, they gon' make this verse out of confession. Tell my bitch I got a shit on niggas, damn right I'm messy. Every bitch try to go big on me, I'm like they gon' regret it. I don't give a fuck how hot you is, I swear I won't sweat it. I won't even fuck that ugly bitch, even if she let me. We ball for ball. Yup, I'm really quick to cut these niggas off. Who don't fuck with me, go tell them fuck them all. I hope they get the message. You ain't gotta sneeze, fuck with me and get a blessing. We ball for ball, we ball for ball.
No, we gon' ball for ball.
We ball for ball, we ball for ball.
We gotta ball for ball.
We ball for ball, we ball for ball.
No, we gon' ball for ball.
We ball for ball, we ball for ball.
We gotta ball for ball.
Yeah, so
That was Rollo, ball for ball. This morning, I really want to talk about a few things because I feel like we're in such a so quick to follow a narrative or a rhetoric, and it's false. It's you know what I'm saying. It's misinformation. There's a whole lot of things involved with it, right? And one thing that I want to start off with today, right, is last night I guess Trump posted on his True Social, but it's coming to find out he don't even handle the shit himself. He got a whole team of people, right? That he got a media team or whatever. Well, I'm going to show the video that he uh, posted, but first I want to show you where the original video came from because yes, there is a little clip at the end of like a few seconds left of the other video, and they show gorillas, apes, whatever, of Obama and Michelle, right? but people aren't seeing the whole video. They're just going by a section. And that's what's really, I feel like people are running with a narrative instead of the truth because they want people to get mad and enraged. But why are you getting mad over lies? And that's one thing that I cannot understand and will never understand.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. In the jungle, the quiet jungle, the lion sleeps tonight.
So how is that racist? That's one thing that I can't understand, right? And I know that that's not the video that Trump posted, his social media team, whatever, it was another video. I'm trying to see if I can find it. Because a lot of people say they won't share the video or, and all those. But to me, is that really racist when it's showing is everybody remembers the Lion King. He pulled himself as king of the jungle. And everybody that was from Akeem Jeffries to Schumer to Whoopi Goldberg, they were all in there. Not only just Donald Trump. And I'm not even a Trump follower. I'm not even a MAGA. I'm not any of that, right? I'm here for my community. I'm here to make Minnesota the way I remember it and not the way that it's starting to become, because that's not the Minnesota that if you're truly from Minnesota, you don't remember. You know what I'm saying? Because when you look at it now, it's a shell of itself. And I'm not going to blame that on Republicans. I'm not going to, for me, that is where we've allowed, especially in urban areas and bigger cities, we're starting to let socialists who claim to be Democrats take over. So now in my eyes, we don't even really have a DFL party in Minneapolis or even like the St. Paul area. In the Twin Cities and all that, we have a socialist. We have the DSA, even though they say they're the Democratic Socialists of America, right? That everything that is going on is not about America. They want to give money to immigrants. The same thing, Minneapolis. I see some other city councils like Duluth. They want to help because of all this ICE shit. And it's like, damn, really? Like, are we just sitting here like figuring out other ways to run scams and to give out just endless amounts of money with no type of oversight, no type of safeguards to how they're using the money? It ain't none of that shit. So why are we still continuing to give out money? And we're not even making no kind of change, because right now everybody's talking about ICE. Fuck ICE. I mean, you know what's crazy to me is niggas don't want to talk about the Minnesota State Patrol. They don't want to talk about police, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Rochester, Red Wing. It's all about ICE now. And it's like, y'all niggas is so far off, man. And it's like, that's why I can't stand with these people, because they stand for anything. And it ain't really about anything. They're not standing for something. Like a lot of individuals, I won't even say it's a lot, because it's a sliver. Because a lot of people in Minnesota feel like it's okay because everybody else does it. Wrong is wrong, nigga, whoever doing it. It doesn't fucking matter. And just because something is legal or lawful, does that make it right? Because slavery was legal. If we're going to go all the way, if we're going to talk about that, let's go. America is going to be 250 this year. 250. And until the whole, to me, to be honest, slavery is still legal. We have people who are behind bars who are innocent. Didn't even, maybe they committed a crime, but it's not the one that they were found guilty of. It's not the one that they're sitting there fighting. And everybody wants to talk about ICE. What about Timothy Magruder, Philip Vance? That's what's crazy is like, I don't really hear them names anymore. I hear it's all about ICE. Even the people that call themselves fighting for prisoners behind bars, man, them niggas is out there doing the same shit for ICE. They're not even really giving a fuck about the prisoners no more. And it's like, that's why I say people stand for anything, not something, because if anything pops off, that shit goes on the back burner. That shit goes on the back burner. And that's really crazy to me. And I can never understand that. I feel like a lot of this, I came out in 2020 and it's like, for what? Because the same shit is just still happening. You have people selling drugs, you have people raping kids, girls, and it's A-okay as long as it's certain people. But the minute you start calling that out, you're the bad guy, not the person who is actually doing the harm. The people who they want to call us whistleblowers. They want to call everything in the motherfucking name in the book. But yet when we see articles come out from KTTC, Post Bulletin, Star Tribune, and we're talking about, the article is talking about drugs and how people were arrested, and you hear the part, there was a confidential informant, and you're like, wait, what? So the nigga knew who locked him up. The nigga knows. Because I'm going to tell you like this, all money is not good money. I've always lived by that. All money is not good money. And I really live by that in 2020 because I could have been took people's money. I could have, in Red Wing, $10,000 from the city council. All I had to do was be quiet and get in line. As long as I wasn't talking about the issues that were happening in Red Wing, no matter if it came to the racist ass school board, no matter if it came to people in the community, being delivery drivers and yelling at, seeing some black kids play and going, hey, nigger, it's like, goddamn. And now what really fucks me up, right, is something happened, I think it was last Saturday, is a person was arrested by ICE and they left their car out there. That's been happening in Minneapolis, Rochester, Wilmer, basically everywhere in Minnesota. Not even in just Minnesota, in other states as well. But you never hear nothing else. You don't ever hear nothing else. Nothing else about Red Wing. But the only crazy thing is you hear about that motherfucking dude. It's like, for what? You have a person on the school board who went into a store and was stealing things. And then when she's still on the school board. You have a lady up there as well, that when they had Wigger Day in Red Wing, there was some parents of the black students that went up there and asked for an apology. You think they got one? No, they didn't. And the person that was there and saw that happen and said that she wanted to do differently, and she's not doing anything differently. She's not doing anything differently. Why do we always fall for that shit? I fell for it too. My resolution in Red Wing proclaiming racism a public health crisis, the Strategic Racial Equity Action Plan. There's a rental licensing. I don't know if it really works or not, because I don't really think it's going to work until they actually do the steps. And they don't want to, because then you have to make that you got to look in the mirror. You got to look back at yourself. And a lot of people don't want to do that. And that's crazy to me. So Tuesday was Caucus. I went to mine, and a lot of people went to theirs. Mine wasn't very big. There was about, I would say, anywhere between 14 and 16 people. Um, I just sat back. I didn't really talk much. I did talk about when it came up to Lisa DeMuth or like Mike Lindell or Kendall Qualls. I said my piece, and especially when it came to Phil Parrish, because that's who I voted for in a straw poll, whatever. And but I've seen that a lot of people, and maybe they're not really watching what goes on, or they're not really keen on like all the issues. They want to support. And I think I did see that a lot in the crowd, not that it was a big crowd. uh but I do feel like there was people. I mean, I sat next to the lady. She was 83, and I had a hell of a conversation, smart. And I really feel like there's people that want to make a difference. They don't know who to, they just want to do the right thing, right? So a lot of people get into that. Oh, well, Lisa DeMuth will do this, or Kristen Robbins, or, Mike Lindell. How can we expect anything different when we've already seen, even when it comes to Lindell, he's using his campaign funds to buy his book? Like, really? Really? So you're going to pay yourself. How can we expect anything different if he became governor? And then Lisa, I don't know how many times that I have to hear other individuals, not even just myself, but I sometimes sit in these spaces, like especially Minnesota Speaks on Thursday night, and you have people going in there. Well, some people will say, "Well, Lisa did this and Lisa did that," but then you have the people that be like, "Well, that's not true. That's not true. How do you think we got here?" Some of it has to be the truth because we got here for a reason. We got here for a reason. It's either because we have so many state representatives, state senators that think they're doing the right thing. But when it actually comes down to it, it's not. I mean, just look at the guy in Farmington. He was the mayor, and they had a big, I won't even say an outburst, but they had a very public comment section during their city council because they're talking about data centers. You have a lot of cities, uh, Cannon Falls, Pine Island, Farmington. That's just in the southern Minnesota. I don't know, Farmington, we could say, call it a Twin Cities suburb, whatever. Uh, but that's a lot of land that is going to data centers, which are going to use a lot of resources, water. What are they going to pump into the ground? What are, how much energy is it going to use? You know what I'm saying? Like, how many jobs is it going to open up for people? How many jobs are they going to bring? Because a lot of people thought this Amazon in Stewartville was a good idea until they actually found out the real deal, that Amazon was making it automated, where you don't need that many employees because they have robots. I won't even know say robots, but it does it itself. And all you need there is people that know how to fix the equipment. And then you have the drivers, but you don't have the people. Like, if you've ever been to an Amazon facility in the Twin Cities, you see they have workers putting it into carts, and you're not going to see that in Rochester. Even with there's a lot happening, and I think people don't understand. Um, and all I'm saying is, don't believe me. Look it up for yourself because it's there. I think a lot of people don't want to believe it until they actually can see it for themselves or read it. Uh, and to me, that's a problem. We're not taking um, people that have lived through that experience or still living through it, and we're not listening to them. We're downplaying it, or we're saying that that's false information or they're lying, when actually they walk through it. They live it every day. So we have to take, I believe, for the benefit of the doubt, because that's how we're going to get better as Minnesotans. That's how we're going to unite, is taking people at their word and trying to fix what is going on. But this is about Tuesday night at the Minnesota caucuses, not only in Republican, but DFL as well.
Well, today results are in from yesterday's Minnesota precinct caucuses. The kickoff to election season gives voters a chance to talk about issues and show support for their candidates. But this year, the turnout alone is telling its own story. Raya Katene has more.
Minnesotans across the state this week kicked off a big election year in a big way.
Certainly there's a lot of energy on both sides.
Tens of thousands of neighbors and political organizers voiced what matters most to them at precinct caucuses. It's the first step in figuring out which candidates will become the nominees for their parties ahead of the general election in November.
There was also a sense for the GOP of it's time for us to get more serious. We've not won a statewide election in 20 years. And there was a sense I felt among the folks in the precinct caucus that they wanted to win.
Although the issue of fraud hasn't made as many headlines recently, former Republican State Senate Majority Leader Amy Frederickson says it was evident last night that it's still the dominant concern for Republican voters.
I think there's a lot of question about what exactly happened with the money.
Tuesday's straw poll results show House Speaker Lisa Damuth is the GOP's preferred candidate for governor. But Frederickson says party leaders will have to work on their messaging when it comes to how the federal administration handled the crackdown on immigrants in Minnesota.
I do think that it's something that all of Minnesota is bothered by. And I think that anyone who wants to run for office or lead the state is going to have to get a strong message about what happened was wrong.
People are very nervous about what's happening on the streets of Minneapolis, right? You cannot have people gunned down and think that people are going to skip participating in the political process.
Mike Erlandson is the former chair of the Minnesota DFL. The party says a historic number of people, at least 30,000, showed up to voice their concerns, especially about ICE.
If that extra turnout that we saw this week translates into extra turnout come November elections, I think you're going to see a very, very good year for Democrats.
Erlandson says Senator Amy Klobuchar, who has little opposition from other Democrats in the race for governor, was a popular name last night. But other races, including the U.S. Senate seat and Hennepin County attorney, Erlandson says received far less attention. Still, he anticipates voters in big numbers to carry their energy to the November elections.
People are very motivated by what we're seeing taking place on the streets of Minneapolis right now.
Last night was also an opportunity for people to vote on potential resolutions and changes that they'd like to see within their own parties. Of course, we still have a long way to go before the midterms in November, and there are multiple events between now and then, including a big state convention for both.
Yeah, so there's still a long way to go. It's only February. Elections are in November. But this is one thing that I wanted to show was that if you look at the DFL, and they had their little caucus results put out here just yesterday. It says the 4th. I don't know. That was 2 days ago or whatever. I said that was Wednesday. But if you look at it, Amy Klobuchar, it's like, how can people actually go up here and vote for a person that, and maybe people aren't paying attention. This is the one thing that I want people to know. Maybe we're not educating people. Right? Because I see this and I see Amy Klobuchar 79%. But when you look at the Twin Cities, when their own individual results have came out, and I think it was only maybe one or two precincts, I think that's what you call them, put out their results. And a lot of them were in areas that are in the Twin Cities and they were uncommitted. So I want people to think about that. Even in the Republicans, there was a lot of people that voted uncommitted. And I think we have a lot of voters out here that actually haven't made up their minds because they see, a lot of people just at the end of the day, they don't like Trump. So they're automatically going to vote for DFL all the way. They can't get off the DFL plantation. They're just blind following at this point, right? Because how can you see the fraud affect the way it affects here in Minnesota? And people don't, I won't say that people aren't worried about it or concerned, because I don't think that's it. What I do think is that people don't know what to do. And I won't say a name or whatever, because to be honest, I don't want to. She's a Republican, and I'll put it up. I just said her pronoun, I don't even know what her gender. We'll go there. But I'm not going to say her name because I don't want to throw her under the bus, or because I want to unite. And somehow I have to figure out how can I put people that are in urban areas, are in even down here, like in areas that are small, and who really don't care. I mean, I'm not going to say it, that's a bad word, but aren't knowledgeable about the issues that are happening in Minnesota, and we need to educate them. And to be honest, I don't think this is why I don't feel like the Republicans. I am a Republican. I registered. I'm on the BPOU. Not that there was a lot of people that turned out, you know what I'm saying? Because I was the only one in my little precinct, or whatever you want to call it. I signed up for to be not an election judge, but to be I forget what the other thing was. I got to find that paper. But it was I think it was a poll person or something. But I volunteered for that because I do want to be a part of making a difference. Because I don't want to be the ones that you don't ever see them at the city halls or the city, the state. I want to be a person not only doing like posts or blogs or whatever, because a lot of people say I'm paid. I do this for free. I do this because I actually do want to see a change. And I think that people will open up their eyes and see. I like what Bartlett does. He puts videos, because that is the number one thing that people say, oh, we don't believe you. We don't believe that. Well, when you put a video, and some people still don't believe it. Some people still don't believe it, but it's the truth. And that's one thing I don't know what to, how to break it down or even make it easier for people. I just see that we do need a change. And there is a lot of people that, even though maybe they're not as knowledgeable as on like all the issues that are happening, or maybe they're just one issue voters. But we really need to be out here for everything, because there's a lot of shit that's happening in Minnesota that to me is crazy. And I really feel like it's time for people to wake up, because it's affecting our future generations. It's affecting our grandkids, our great grandkids. It's going to be crazy. Because it's not, I think we already feel it in some way or some kind of degree, but what we're really doing is for the future generations. So I want to get into this about the little ICE surge and how they're doing things in the county jail. So here's a video from WCCO.
As the ICE surge continues, Homeland Security claims agents have arrested 4,000 people in Minnesota.
Most are taken here to the Whipple Federal Building at Fort Snelling. It's a spot to hold detainees until they can be moved. Some go out of state. The rest go to a handful of county jails that have agreements with the feds.
So what does that look like, and how are people being treated? For the first time during Operation Metro Surge, a sheriff is opening his jail to show WCCO the conditions. The Crow Wing County Sheriff from Brainerd gave us a tour and sat down for a candid conversation with senior investigative reporter Jennifer Mearley.
This is where the officer will come and start the booking process. Oftentimes, like for immigration, they'll bring in maybe 10 or 12 or 5 at a time, and then we'll just have them line up here on the bench here. From there, they come in and do the body scan, so we scan their body, make sure they're not bringing any contraband into the jail.
Crow Wing County Sheriff Eric Klang says the jail began accepting ICE detainees in November 2025.
And we have anywhere from 50 to 30 detainees at any one time, give or take. I mean, they're coming and going all the time.
Klang escorted us to booking.
This is the secured area.
This is going to be the secured portion of the jail.
He explained ICE detainees are booked in like any other person at the jail. They can shower when they arrive.
And get new clothes. They get a colored based on what classification they are. So if they're in here on an assault or something that's violent, they get a certain set of clothes, so they're easily identified.
Deputies bag their personal items. On the way to a housing unit, we saw the kitchen, laundry, library, gym, and medical services. This unit is where ICE detainees are mixed in with inmates.
They'll be given a room, and they'll be able to use their iPad and talk to their families, FaceTime their families, or FaceTime the lawyers.
Klang says he knows the decision to work with ICE is controversial, with some in the community and with relatives.
It's a very heated, very divisive topic, you know. And I've been in law enforcement for 30 years. I've always worked with our local, state, and federal partners, and I'm going to continue to do that.
We asked about who the county is housing in its jail for ICE and if they have a criminal history.
Sometimes they have assaults or something like that on there that we'll get notified of just for classification purposes, so we know where to put them. But the majority of them, we don't know if they have anything or not.
Should you know who you're housing in your jail?
Yes, we should, and we do the best with the information that we have. They're not violent, they're very cooperative, they're very compliant.
You know, we keep hearing about the worst of the worst, that they're targeting the worst of the worst, and I'm wondering, do you have the worst of the worst here in your jail?
No, I wouldn't say that we have the worst of the worst in this facility. You know, they talk about who's the worst of the worst.
I asked Sheriff Klang if I could talk with people about their time in the jail, and he agreed. A man showed me his green band, signifying he's an ICE detainee. We couldn't show them on camera, but people lined up to share their story with me, eager for someone to listen. They also told me they are treated well at the jail, shown respect, and say they give respect.
So what I can do on my part is all of our illegal immigrants that are here in our jail, we have treated them with the utmost respect. I mean, they're coming from all over the place, and we want them to have a good experience while they're here, if there's such a thing.
All right, there were 41 ICE detainees at the jail yesterday when we were there. Some of them told me they had been there for months. I'm told there's no typical amount of time that they stay there. Sheriff Klang says they'd like to get to a place where they're housing people fighting deportation, so there's not as much in and out.
Yeah. It's spotless and certainly
really clean.
Different from what we're hearing from other places.
Yeah, they say hospital clean and library quiet.
There you go.
Wow. So what's the county get out of this relationship with ICE?
Right. Well, Sheriff Klang tells me the jail runs better when it's closer to capacity, so housing them helps that. You also heard the sheriff say he's committed to working with those local, state, and federal partners. The county has also paid more for housing ICE detainees. So far it's roughly $300,000, but so far the county has not been paid. It's also important to mention that Crow Wing County has 2 other agreements with ICE. The agreements allow deputies to serve an ICE warrant on someone already inside their jail, and they can assist ICE in the community. We'll talk with Sheriff Klang about those agreements tomorrow at 6.
Right.
Well, that's interesting. It seems like he has no issues talking about any of this. I mean, the feds are so sometimes difficult to reach and talk to.
He was open about it, and you'll hear more tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. You know, people say they want to get this surge or out of Minnesota. To me, it's like, hey, whatever. I don't really see it happening anytime soon or anytime in the near future. I do feel like we got to get more people out and out. But yesterday this happened, and you had Jake Lang. I know a lot of people, maybe you do or don't know him. He's new to me. When January 6th happened, I was still kind of blind following, so I really wasn't following Jake, or wasn't like, I would have called him racist. I would have did all this shit. I would have been with them niggas on when he went down to Minneapolis City Council. I mean, the state, when he did that little protest in Minneapolis. I probably would have been down there protesting his ass. But that's not me no more. But I do want to show you
12 noon outside the Minnesota.
What he did yesterday in
President Trump,
video.
We support you. We support ICE. Our country was made for Americans, not for Somalis. Pro-ICE, baby. America first, America only. We'll see you here February 7th, Saturday, 12 noon, outside the Minnesota State Capitol. President Trump, we support you.
Crazy.
We support ICE. Our country was
crazy, crazy, crazy. I can say this, that, and I'm just speaking for myself or whatever. I really do feel like Jake is stirring the pot here in Minnesota. I'm not saying that. I will say this, right? I don't agree with everything that he does, just like the same way that when I was a BLM dude, that I really didn't have a problem with the way how other people protested. As long as you weren't, I can't even really say it mattered to me if it was violent or non-violent, because I went to extremes that maybe other people feel like is I didn't go in no church. I'll let that be known. I ain't never going to motherfucking church. I have sprayed my police department in Red Wing with Jello and with like bread. I got that shit everywhere. And then I did the same thing at their city hall down in Red Wing. I poured red Kool-Aid. I don't think it was Kool-Aid. It was like Jello. I don't know. I went and looked up some shit, right? But yeah, I fucked up the police department and city hall down in Red Wing. I did get charged for it. They didn't arrest me right then and there. I wasn't definitely not hiding. Yeah, I was around. Yeah, I just when I really think back to it, 2020 all the way till 2022 was wild for me. I was down in Minneapolis. I was protesting. I was Operation Pull Up. There's a lot of things that I would do that I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't do right now. I wouldn't do like going to the chief of police's house and protesting Red Wing, because my thing of it is I want to see change, and I don't want to make the situation any worse. I want to make the situation to where we sit down and maybe we argue and we yell at each other, but at the end of the day, we come out of that room and we have a compromise and we have an agreement that everybody is happy with, not just one or two people, but that everybody is happy. And I don't know how we get there, but I know the first thing we have to do is accountability. There's too much fraud, too much waste here in Minnesota when it comes to the politics, not even just the Democrats, with the Republicans as well, that we really, really need to change, have a conversation. To be honest, I think it's more than a conversation. I think it's really, we need to do a lot of conversation is not going to get it. I think we do need conversation that is going on for so long. And I know people got to be tired of having conversations, because we all know how it ends. Big racist piece of shit. I don't see this, the whole thing. I don't get why people think that shit was racist. I really don't. And it's really, actually, no, let me go through my comments. Let's see let's see. Yeah, I said he was the king of the jungle because that's what he was. This doesn't make it not racist. Oh my God. He purposely showed us the Obamas as apes and not the entire video. Yeah, the Pepe Frog in the video, they literally put the Obamas on the monkeys for a specific reason. It's literally a repost from the 4chan racist. My whole thing of it is, I don't get, racism to me is overplayed. Racism to me is totally overplayed. Trending. Let's go see what the comments are. Let's see. Obamas. This is crazy because it's all. See, I don't even get that. Praying it was fake because it's It's the most racist thing I've seen out of the White House. The president should remove it. Senator Scott was the first to criticize. To me, I don't have a problem with it. I'm going to be 100% honest. I don't have a problem with it, as I can see other people don't either. Zoe Lowe from Chicago. I don't care nothing about the Obamas. They ruined the city of Chicago. Like, they're terrible people. Y'all act brand new if y'all want to. Right. See, and I don't know why. If people really think that Trump sat here and edited, y'all are giving this nigga more credit than he deserves. I'm gonna be straight up honest. Y'all are giving the nigga more. I don't even like the guy, right? I'll be straight up. I don't even like Trump. I think I'm not gonna say he's racist. Do I think he has negrophobia? Yeah, I do. I do believe that he has negrophobia. But when it comes down to where like ASAP Rocky or even the ball, Jello, when he was over, I think it was China, and him and his teammates stole some shit. ASAP Rocky in Sweden, Kodak Black. I know these people are not black. Some of them aren't black to me. They're just Haitian or Jamaican. I'm not saying that they're not American, black by America's terms, but they're not American black. They are some other. Same thing with Byron Donalds, whatever the fuck his name is. And this shit don't be making no sense to me. It really don't make no sense to me. Also, here go the whole video.
200 tabulator, the machine that counts the votes. A Telit 4G wireless. Initiated by a court order, the Michigan investigation team obtained forensic access to a DS200 tabulator, the machine that counts the votes. A Telit 4G wireless chip manufactured in Taiwan was discovered embedded into the motherboard. The voting machine tapes clearly indicate modem engagement and transmission of election data. Some of the anomalies that we noticed in the 2020 general elections, that 5 key states all stopped counting at a certain time in these key battleground states. These were all where the software, the mini machines, ESNS machines were used, the Smartmatic, the GEMS software. So when the vote stopped counting, and this has been noted in other countries as well, President Trump was significantly ahead. When reporting and counting resumed, there was a massive spike occurred that favored Joe Biden.
So that's okay. To be honest, I don't know why somebody I don't take it as
initiated
racism
by a court order.
That's for damn sure. To me, this all this political shit's got out of hand. Because to me, there's no difference between niggas on the streets and niggas in politics. One just wears a suit and tie, and the other one goes by flags, colors. White, you know what I'm saying? There ain't no difference to me, and I really don't get this shit anymore. I really don't. To be honest, yeah, I voted for Obama when I could, but to be honest, I wouldn't vote for him right now. Not what I know. I'm not saying that motherfuckers have to follow me or even listen to me. Go look up the shit for yourself. But to me, I really don't. Oh, man. This shit crazy. I don't know what happened to I don't know who posted the video. To be honest, I can know Trump, probably his media team. I will say this. I got plenty other reasons to hate Trump than him calling Obama and his wife some monkeys. Because I have a problem with the Central Park 5. I have a problem with how him and his father, Fred, were when they were landlords back in New York. So for me, y'all can be mad about some things that really just are anything to me. Or we can really be mad about something. Are we going to be just, Yeah, this is how I know these niggas will just get mad over anything. Even with like, I bet you right now that people, let me see, because they got Nakima's, the judge. Let me see. Yeah. They couldn't break me. They lie. Dun, 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 dun. See. The latest. Oh, that's the top. That's the latest. But I know there was some shit that that's another one that she's released. I know they just see this. Not the other day had the judge had ordered that they could go through her phone. Yeah, here it is right here. Let's see if I can make it bigger.
Searched the cell phone of a well-known Twin Cities activist now charged with organizing that anti-ICE church protest in St. Paul last month. That's the one where the Department of Justice indicted a pair of independent journalists, including former CNN anchor Don Lemon. Nakima Levy-Armstrong had asked a judge to quash a warrant giving investigators access to her phone. She says as an attorney there could be privileged material on there. She also, frankly, doesn't trust the government, calling the case against her, and I'm quoting here, an openly politically motivated prosecution, and worrying that after Trump officials published a doctored photo of her arrest, they could abuse and digitally alter material on her device. A magistrate judge says the DOJ does have enough safeguards in place, so he says the investigators can search the phone. Meantime, we now have an arraignment date and time locked in for Don Lemon, who will have to return here to Minnesota to face his charges right back in St. Paul. He's due in front of a judge there Friday, February 13th.
Yeah. That shit don't make no sense to me either. Because, like, how do you know? Yeah. It don't make no sense to me sometimes the way that people, to me, this prosecution, of course, everybody's going to think that it comes down to politics because that's the world that they're in. But let's talk about the fraud. Because somebody had posted it was over $1 million since 2020 that she's been paid in grants. And people don't get mad. I won't even say mad, but don't you think like, yeah, it don't make no sense to me. It doesn't make no sense to me at all. I wanted to read something real quick. And this goes back to like the caucus scene, and no matter if it comes down to Republicans or Democrats, right? Minnesotans gathered across the state to talk priorities, cast preference ballots, and show love to their candidates. On paper, it looks like civic engagement at work. But when you actually read the numbers and remember the history, the celebration feels premature. Let's start with the DFL preference ballot for governor. With 84% of precincts reporting, Amy Klobuchar pulled 79% uncommitted, comes in at 16. Write-ins, 3%, and Christopher Seymore at 1%, and 1% abstained. 79% to me, that is wild. And not wild in a good way. Because the question nobody in Minneapolis seems willing to ask out loud is this: how short is our memory? How does a city that claims to be politically aware, socially conscious, and historically informed just breeze past Klobuchar's record as a prosecutor? How many black men and boys were railroaded on her watch while she climbed the political ladder? How many careers, families, and futures were collateral damage for someone else's ambition? This isn't about partisan talking points. This is about accountability. This is about whether justice only matters when it's trending or when it's convenient. You don't get to wave the banner of reform while ignoring the bodies under the bridge that got you here. And let's be clear, 16% uncommitted isn't nothing. That's a quiet protest. That's a chunk of voters saying, nah, something don't sit right. But the machine keeps moving because it always does. Now let's swing to the other side of the aisle. The Minnesota Republican Party reported 90% of their caucus results, and House Speaker Lisa DeMuth leads a crowded field with 5,751 votes, which was basically 32%. Kendall Qualls followed with 4,500, which came down to 25%, and Mike Lindell was next at 3,137, which equaled 17%. And then there was Scott Jensen, the party's 2022 nominee, sitting way back with 1,156 votes, basically tied with the number of undecided voters at 1,028. Read that again. The former nominee is running neck and neck with we don't know yet. That tells you everything you need to know about voter confidence, party direction, and political fatigue. People are showing up, but they're not inspired. They're participating, but they're not convinced. And a whole lot of Minnesotans on both sides feel like the choices are being made for them, not by them. Are being made for them, not by them. This is why I call it the disenfranchised voter, because whether you're DFL or Republican, urban or rural, black or brown or working class white, the feeling is the same. The system listens selectively. It remembers when it wants to forget and forgets when it should remember. That's what's really crazy to me, is why don't people try to, I don't even know if it's really about trying. I don't know. I just know that I'm tired of doing the same old shit, even when it comes to even about the fraud shit. You know, I feel like the people that we have put on a hell of a talking game, but when it actually comes down to numbers, it's some bullshit. When it actually comes down to results, it's some bullshit. And I think people are fed up. I think people have the right to be fed up, and we should really, really get into it. And how do we? How do you make a difference when people already see you one type of way? That's what I want to ask people. How do you change something when people already have a perception, thoughts or feelings about you? How do you move forward? That's what I want to ask people. Like, how do you move forward when so many people have downed you on about your name, about shit, basically anything? I don't understand it. I don't. But I will say this, that I'm not any kind of not motivated or inspired, because I do believe that we can make a change. I just feel like people need to know the truth, need to know the facts, especially over feelings. And I think people deserve the truth. But I'm gonna get up out of here. I'll be back next week, and maybe this weekend. I don't know yet, because there is some things going on. So maybe I might cover them or stream them. I don't know yet. But I'm gonna get up out of here. I'll see y'all next week. And this is Louis Blaze, my own people, and I will see y'all same time, same place next week.
I really gotta get this off my chest, you feel me? Like, love is love, and I've been feeling like it's just us that's holding us back, you feel? You know, they say the truth hurt. At the same time, the truth shall set you free. And I just wanna be free, and we ain't free until we all free. Check it. Yo, I find it crazy how we got short attention spans when it takes time to sit, strategize, and make a plan. Then we make a plan for poverty and lack. Got the audacity to whip ourselves across the back. Our ancestors paved the way, but look at how we act. Bending over for that man when we seeing that contract. I'm about to spend a whole week just deleting some contacts. Only riding with my soldiers who ready for combat. And stop telling me to put the guns down when we dying. I would've have to jack a car if I